All right. Good morning for the ones and tuning in from US, and good afternoon to the one in. All right. So let me reduce this. I was monitoring it. All right. Um, good evening, good afternoon to the ones in India. So this is our second session for the book club, and the idea of having the book club was to kind of get together, share about books, especially in this time, when we are all locked down. I have seen that there are a lot of social media posts which are quite negative, angry, and kind of attacking each other. So this is our way of, getting together as a community and sharing positivity and, trying to be alert about the situation at the end. At the same time, we need to be alert, but there is no reason that we should be very fearful or we should show our anger to everyone.
Here so I can put my face.
And the go.
All right. So we have Gayatri, and I see Gayatri's child is at the background.
Sorry, so sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just closed. The door doesn't have lock, so it just closed. But I'll just come.
All right. So we have. Okay, I'm going to just take out Gayatri for a moment. Okay. So we have Sonia and Binita joining us from Manipur, and we have Gayatri joining us from Australia. So what we are going to do is I'm going to bring all of you back up again, and we'll go around and have a round of introduction. First of all, I want to thank all of you to participate. I think we kind of came up with this program in a very short time, and making this happen. So thank you, first of all. So to start the introduction, let's just go around the room and share a little bit about ourselves. Let's start with Gayatri.
Mm-hmm. Hello, thank you, Monica, and hello, everyone. So, good morning, good evening, and here it is night. So, my name is Gayatri, and I am from Imphal, but currently residing in Canberra, Australia. I am working as a casual tutor in the engineering department of the Australian National University here at Canberra. That's it.
All right. So moving on to Sonia.
Hi everybody. I'm Sonia Meitram, and I'm from Imphal. And currently, I'm undergoing my PhD degree from Manipur University Center for Manipur Studies under the supervision of Professor Vijayalakshmi Prara.
All right. Welcome. And to Binita.
Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name is Binita Pukrambam, and I'm from Kashamthong Irom Pukrimapal, Imphal West. And right now, I'm pursuing BA Honours Sociology at Lady Sri Ram College for Women, which is an affiliated college of University of Delhi, and it's in South Delhi. And regarding my educational background, starting from Group 1 to Class 12, I studied at Maria Montessori Senior Secondary School, which is at Koirangai. And my father's name is Pukrambam Nishikanta Singh, and my mother's name is Laitonjam Babita Devi, and I have two sisters, and we are a family of 5. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome. All right. So thank you for the introduction, and let's start with our sharing about the books. And to start with, I'm going to let Gayatri share.
So, coming to the book that I'm going to share today, it's called Buddha's Brain. So, it's the practical neuroscience of happiness, love, and wisdom. So, as the name suggests, this book talks about the different or effective tools that many people use for personal growth or spiritual practices, but it is also backed by neuroscience. So it's kind of interesting because sometimes when we talk about meditation or mindfulness, so some people may be skeptical because we think like it's just coming from like some spiritual background or religious kind of background. But when you have something like scientific research that is backing up those things, then it's quite interesting. So I thought of sharing this book. I have started reading it, but I have not yet finished. So I would like to share some of the things. So basically, it talks about those things like what we can do to change our mind. So we say like changing our mindset is one of the important aspect of personal growth, because we find that what is inhibiting or stopping us from growth is our mind itself. So the first thing is to change our mind. One moment. I'm so sorry.
And Gayatri has a little girl.
Yeah, he's just
Definitely
5 and yeah.
a mom moment, which is
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
no, that's fine. Yeah, if she wants, she can be with us. If that will make her. All right.
Yeah. So coming back to this book, so it's kind of interesting. So I would like to share some of the things, like some key points that I can share from what I have already read. So as we say, like changing mindset. So in a nutshell, the book says, what the book says is that if you can change your brain, you can change your life. So let's read through some of the things that I can share. I'll just come in a second.
Okay, that's fine. So that is a mom moment as we deal with every day. Yeah, so while we are waiting for Gayatri, like what she is sharing is very relevant to the personal growth each of us, go through as a journey, right? So it's all about controlling your mind. And when you change that, that's how your personal growth would start. So I see Gayatri back and I'm going to give it back to her. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So let me first, so I'll share some of the things. Okay, the key points from the initial chapter is that what happens in your mind changes your brain, both temporarily and in lasting ways. Neurons that fire together wire together. And what happens in your brain changes your mind, since the brain and mind are a single integrated system. Therefore, you can use your mind to change your brain to benefit your mind and everyone else whose life you touch. People who have practiced deeply in the contemplative traditions are the Olympic athletes of the mind, learning how they have trained their minds and thus their brains reveals powerful ways to have more happiness, love, and wisdom. The brain evolved to help you survive, but its three primary survival strategies also make you suffer. Virtue, mindfulness, and wisdom are the pillars of everyday well being, personal growth, and spiritual practice. The path of awakening involves both transforming the mind or brain and uncovering the wonderful true nature that was there all along. Small positive actions every day will add up to large changes over time as you gradually build new neural structures. To keep at it, you need to be on your own side. Wholesome changes in the brains of many people could help tip the world in a better direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that, right? All of us need to be elevating our consciousness, and that is going to elevate, us globally. So,
Yeah.
why did you choose this book? Is that because you're reading it right now, or
Uh, that would be one reason, but the other reason is like I think for whatever is happening in the world today, so every change that a person can bring, like from their own self, is required to bring the combined effort of change that we require to see in the world. So I think so, and most of the people might be like who are interested in all these activities are mostly looking for personal growth and well-being. So I thought this book is good because you have different tools outline as well as the neurology behind it. So this book also has lots of physiology side of the brain, how it works, what happens, the neurons, synapse, and all those things. So it's kind of a conjunction between two different aspects of life. So I think it would be interesting for other people also.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So to kind of link that, Finding the Voices also have the initiative for personal growth, wherein we get together and have workshop and learn about tools. And Gayatri is one of our member. And, if you can share a little bit to, what you have learned, what is the impact to you as part of our workshop together to our viewer, just so that if they are interested they can join us too.
Yeah. First, I'd like to thank you, Jay, for starting that initiative program, because I was working on my own personal growth and these things. So when I saw the some initiative kind of thing in that background, so it was a chance for me to pursue, because I find it quite helpful in the sense that when you have a group of people, you become more accountable and you become more, you work more towards your combined journey. It's more kind of uh, putting more effort together, because it's like working together towards same goal. So you have different people, but all of them are also working for their personal growth. So it's kind of a combined effort or push from everyone. So I find it quite helpful in my own journey, and I would like to invite other people also who are interested in their personal growth journey.
Yeah, definitely. So, for those who are watching us, we do have a community and we have a Facebook group. You can look it up. It's kind of linked to our page, Finding Yourself. And to end your sharing, Gayatri, if you can, share gratitude to somebody, as you know that I am, I believe in gratitude, and I believe that gratitude is going to bring all of us together.
Uh, yeah, at this juncture, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who is working for fighting towards this pandemic condition because of the coronavirus. So everyone from starting from the healthcare and people working for essential services, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone. And so yeah, everyone fighting for this war against the virus.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing about your book. Let's keep up the positivity around.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye. All
Bye-bye.
right. So next, I'm going to bring up Sonia. All right. And let me take off Gayatri. All right. All right, Sonia. So you want to start with the book you're going to share today?
Yes, yes. Uh, this is the book that I would be sharing, and this is the book that I have recently finished reading. I have chosen this book because it's not because that I like this. There are various books that I really like, but this is the recent one that I finished. And talking about this book, it is written by Anil Yadav, and he is a senior journalist of BBC in the Hindi online edition. And it was originally written in Hindi and translated by Anurag Vasnet. So I'm reading the translated version. And talking about why I chose this book is I bought this book from a book fair. And whenever we buy a book or a novel, we tend to look of the title, or let's say the title of the book. And when it says that, is that even a country, sir? So I was intrigued, and the title of the book attracted me, and it makes me feel like I should pick this book and I should read it because it says about journeys in Northeast India by train, bus, and tractor. So I was so interested because I really want to know how their journey would be. And on top of that, when this book was written, it was in the year 2000, and this book, the author of the book, Anil Yadav, and one of his friends, Kashwat, they were out of job. I mean, talking about this book, they were out of job during that time, and they thought of traveling to the most neglected part of India, that is the Northeast India. And when they started their journey, they do not have enough money, but they borrowed money from their friends and they started their journey. And in this book, we will know a lot about Northeast India, or let's say that is behind the screen, behind the beautiful sceneries, which one tend to see in the internet. And uh, when they started their journey, they were not aware what they will face. But when I read this book, I came to know of all the things which is behind the screen, which we hardly see. Whenever people talk about Northeast India, we tend to see all those beautiful sceneries. Let's talk about the Living Bridge in Meghalaya, or Loktak Lake, or this Zero Valley in Arunachal Pradesh. But in this book, we will come across the dark side, which is kept hidden from the people. And they have traveled in all the parts of Northeast India, that is starting from Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, then Tripura, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. And in this book, this was written during that time when the revolutionary of the part, I mean, of the northeastern part, were revolting against the government, and they were demanding of a sovereign state. And through this book, we will know about the Naga militants and how they took up their training and how they hide in the jungles of Myanmar, Bangladesh. We will we know about the it. This book also talks about drugs. I mean, how youth are affected by drugs, by alcohol, and also the illegal immigration of Bangladeshi to the northeastern part, especially in Tripura and Assam. And there are several instances in the book which we will come across, and there are various parts. I mean, it is not only the northeastern people who is suffering from the, I mean, from the central government, but uh, in some part of the book, we come across the migrant laborers, migrant laborers from mainland India. They were forced to work over there in the tea plantation in Assam. And when I read this book, I come across several parts which really interested me. Uh, at the ending of the book, I come across a part. I mean, this is mainly focused in Manipur, in Churchanpur, in fact. So there is a part, I'll read this part. Chalambi, who came from an exceedingly poverty-stricken household, picked up the habit from her elder sister, who occasionally drank country liquor. Once high, the two sisters would laugh for hours. One day, a boy from high school gave them a taste of number four so they could leave their troubles behind and fly. Her family found out 2 years later when she had begun to ski. Thereafter, she didn't know for certain how 2 years went by sleeping on the street, but she knew the reality of paradise. I really like this part because this tells us the reality. I mean, the reality of the youth, the reality what what people were facing during that time. I mean, it has improved a lot if we compare it in 2020. Then it has improved a lot. And she also mentioned here that there is so much bloodshed all around that children grew up eating raw potatoes and start flying as soon as they are a little older. And they ate raw potatoes because if they ate raw potatoes, then the teacher wouldn't smell the country liquor on their breath. This is one part that I really like. And there is another part when the writer, this Anil Yadav, when he visited More, he met a monk over there. And when the monk asked him why you are traveling here, is it because of
Mhm.
women? So when the monk asked him, is it because of women? So the author said, I'm here to gather self confidence to face my uncertainty. So uh, I in this part, I think that why do one need to come to Northeast India to face their uncertainty? Because here I mean, the people of Northeast, we are not certain what is going to happen next. I mean, during that time, but now it has improved. But during that time, we were not certain because those were the days when the revolutionaries were fighting against the government, uh, talking about a sovereign state, a different state apart from India. So during that time, we have faced. I was in my 10th standard, and we have faced many things. We have come across news dealing with the fight against the government by the revolutionaries, and we from the newspaper and from the media only we come to know of the plight of the people, I mean, during that time. But this particular book w- tells us what exactly is happening at the grassroots level, and this book gives us the details of what is going through, and it also tells us how big the iceberg is. And when if one happens to pick up this book, and they will know the plight of the forced laborers who is forced to work at the tea plantation. And from this book only, we come to know that it is not only the Northeast Indians that are facing the problem. It is also the mainland Indians who came here for work. Because whenever any issue arises between the revolutionary and the central government, it is the laborers who will face all the consequences because they are the one who will be shot dead by the revolutionary. So it's like they are the grass underneath the two elephants who is fighting. So
Mm.
in in short, this book gives us all the details of the Northeast Indian, the status of the Northeast Indian, and the status of mainland Indians who are forced to come over here, who are forced to work here. And I think one should read this because as a Northeast Indian, or let's say as a Manipuri, we don't know what exactly happened at that time, because we believe all those news which was printed in the media. But through this book, uh, we know the reality, what exactly was happening, and how the so-called revolutionaries, how they work, and is it really about for their mother state, or is it really about extorting money from the people. So in this book, we will see everything. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It gave me some chills as I hear some excerpts from, from your experience of reading that book. I will definitely look up that book and read it. And I think to your point, many of us sometimes when we see the news and coverage, we kind of look at from that perspective, but there is so much more, beyond that. That's what, I think you kind of shared. And not only that, I think when the news media share a certain thing, people react to it, and even now you can see, right, like the in the social media, the racial attack to each other within the community and things like that. So I think it's very relevant, to our reaction. And I think, having a more in-depth underlying understanding, specifically, people sharing through their experience in books and things like that would be helpful. So yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And the other thing I wanted you to share is, nominate somebody for gratitude for today. I always like to, end with gratitude for our show.
Yeah. For gratitude, frankly speaking, I do not have any specific person in my mind to show my gratitude, but I'm grateful to each and every one of them whom I have met till date. And this includes my family members, my friends, and my teachers. In fact, everybody whom I've met till date. Because, and for to show my deepest gratitude, I would say my elder sister. Because through her only, I have get this um I've get this feeling of reading books because she used to read books a lot. When I was a child, I always look up on her, and she was the one who gave me all these ideas, or let's say, who introduced me to this world, how we are supposed to behave, or let's say how we are supposed to read. So, I will, and on top of that, talking about this current situation in the world, uh, she is working as a state epidemiologist with the state of Manipur government. So she is also fighting for us. She is at the front fighting for us, fighting for all of us so that we, the people, are safe at home and we are not affected by this pandemic. So I would like to thank her from the bottom of
What's her
my heart.
name?
It's Dr. Bharati Maitram.
Okay, Dr. Bharati Maitram, thank you from our side too. I mean, it's always nice. It's good to be generic that, hey, we are showing our gratitude to everybody in the front line, but it's more
Mm.
special when you identify a specific person. So thank you for mentioning your sister, and a big thank you to her from our side too. All right, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, yes, I would like to thank Finding the Voices. I mean, for the initiative that the Finding the Voices have taken up, and for giving us the opportunity to share our views here. And I believe that it serves as a platform for each and every one of us, despite of our age, despite of our gender. And frankly speaking, I've watched few episodes of Finding the Voices before, and I believe that this is the portal that gives us chance to every one of us, uh, despite of whether you are a renowned person or not. Let's talk about today's episode. Like, none of us are known to any of us. I mean, we are not celebrities, but we got a chance to share our views here. So I believe that Finding the Voices is the perfect portal for people like us, and it acts as a medium to let us know what is happening in the lives of other people. I mean, talking about this book club, we know that who has read what books, and if we hear from them a gist of that particular book, then that makes us more interested to pick up that book and read it. And for Finding the Voices, thank you so much for taking this initiative, and thank you and all the best to Finding the Voices. And I believe that it will give platform to all those people, all those neglected people, all those talented people, and all those people who whom the media haven't broadcasted yet. So thank you so much, and all the
Yeah,
best.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, for being a part of our community. And for me, the belief is strongly about connection and growing together, right? And sharing our thoughts in a more, I guess, positive atmosphere. So thank you, and keep tuning in and keep coming to our platform to share ideas. All right. With
Yes.
that, we will end Sonia's sharing, and I'm going to bring up Binita. Hey, Binita.
Hello.
Thank you for your patience to be online with us. All right. So, what book are you sharing today?
So, Auntie, during this lockdown, in order to make it more productive, the book that I'm reading is called Citizenship and National Identity from Colonialism to Globalism. So, it's written by T.K. Oommen, and T.K. Oommen is a sociologist, and he is currently a professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University, which is in Delhi. And he also received Padma Bhushan in 2008, and this book was released in 1997. So, in this book, in the first part, he tried to explain what national identity is, and according to him, in short, he defined as the urge to preserve one's language, beliefs, cultures, rituals, etc. So, and then after that, he tries to look at the historical processes that led to the formation of India. So, at first, he described as the coming of Aryans, which is a culturally distinct group which immigrated in India 3,500 years ago. So, their coming led to the introduction of Hinduism, caste system, and the Sanskrit language. And the second process he described that led to the formation of India was of the Muslim conquest, that is the coming of Islam in India, and also the coming of Persian language and Urdu language in India. And the third process was of the coming of British, and leading to the introduction of English language and the Christianity religion. And the fourth one is about the freedom movement that took part in India, led by so many freedom fighters of India, in which Indian consciousness first crystallized for the first time. That is, the unity among Indians to fight against the British. And the fifth process that he explained, which led to the formation of modern India, was the partition of India. That is the division of British India into India and Pakistan based on religion. And in the third section, he talks about whether religion, language, and tribe can be the basis of asserting national identity by Indians. But he says that it becomes difficult to assert national identity based on these three criteria because India is a multicultural and multilinguistic country, and he tried to support with so many instances why it's very complex to assert national identity based on these three criteria. So in order to make it more clear, I'll explain it one example. So when Hindu nationalists try to assert their national identity and also try to project Sanskrit or Hindi as the official or the national language for Indians, that is especially for Hindus, it becomes difficult because not everyone's mother tongue is this Hindi or Sanskrit. For example, people who are living in Manipur, there are so many people who practice Hinduism, but their mother tongue is not Hindi. And moreover, there are so many people who don't know Hindi, and moreover, who can't speak Hindi in Manipur. So that becomes difficulty when they try to assert their national identity based on language. So that's what the author is trying to show in his book. And at the later part, he tried to see if there is a feasible linkage between giving citizenship and national identity in India. So, but the answer that he gave is citizenship should be given without taking into consideration the national identity, and it should be the basic rights of every citizens of India. And we should not take into consideration about national identity while giving citizenship rights. So that's what the author is trying to say in the book. It's all about linking citizenship and national identity. So he says it can't be linked. Citizenship should be given. Yeah, that's all.
All right. So that was a very interesting topic to pick up. So in that book, like what other, I guess, what do you call learnings you could link with, with Manipur, and, when a lot of times people in Manipur question about identity, right? So can you share a little bit on that?
Basically, Manipur is a small country, and the indigenous people living here, I mean, their numbers are very minimum compared to the mainland India. So what I feel is that we should try to assert our national identity. And even T.K. Oommen in his book mentioned that we can assert our national identity based on language if our size is minimum. So I feel that in state like Manipur, we can assert national identity because our size is less, and there is a great chances that our indigenous people might endanger someday because of the influx of many migrants from the mainland India. So I feel that we have utmost right to protect our national identity for the good of us.
All right. So thank you for sharing that. So would you like to go to the next segment wherein you want to, select someone for gratitude?
Yeah. So I hardly got chances to thank someone right now, but I would like to share my gratitude to my mother, and her name is Laitonjam Babita Devi, and she is from Wankhaya Yangpally Road. I feel that every parents deserve their children to be good, and in order to reach that, the parents' role are very important. And I feel that my mother did her best in molding me as her first daughter, and she is like my best friend to me, and she accompanied and guided me in every aspect of my life. And when my class 10 result was out, I got pretty good marks. So the sad part about me is my science mark was more than my arts social science mark. So I have one of the biggest dilemma in my life, that is whether to choose humanities stream, science stream, or commerce stream. But the good part about my parents, especially my mother, is that they don't force me. I mean, they just make me to take whatever I want. They hear my opinions, and finally I've decided to take humanities stream, and still I don't regret till now. And I got through the best colleges in India. Then so I got through Miranda House and Lady Shriram College for both. So my mother told me that Miranda House is best college in India. So I was like, I don't like Miranda House that much. I like Lady Shriram more. So my mom was like, okay, fine. So my mother didn't even question. I mean, my parents, especially my mother, allow me to do whatever I want. And when I was in Delhi, whenever I don't pick up her call, she'll be the first one who will be calling my roommates to see if I was okay. And moreover, she'll be the one who will be sending me money secretly without my father's notice. And yeah, so she's like a best friend to me. I share everything to her, and I promise that I'll make my parents, especially my mother, proud.
All right. That's so awesome to hear. I love hearing, when children speak so much about their parents. It could be the mom or dad, but it's absolutely wonderful to hear your gratitude for your mom. So thank you, Ima Buthagachari. Yeah. All right. So thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you want to share before we end?
Uh, I really love watching interviews and talk shows, and Finding the Voice is one of my favorite, and I have watched almost all the episodes. And I also found my friend Dinah Arivam's video, then Dialbert's video, and I really love it. And those are quite helpful to me. I mean, there's a lot of motivating stories, inspiring stories, and how they cope with their issues and all. So it's really quite helpful, and I feel that it's Finding the Voices 1001 Thagachari is giving a special platform for students like us to share what we feel. And I feel that sharing and speaking out helps to mold the feeling of self-worth. And moreover, I feel that it makes us more confident, and it can also promote education and even awareness, and maybe inspiring people, those who are around us. So I feel that it's not only good for myself, but it also helps other people too. And lastly, I would like to thank Auntie for making me to be part of your show. And also I would like to thank my friend Marjing Mayang Lambang for approaching me to be part of this show. And I'm really glad to be part of this show. And if I have a chance next time, then I'll be part of it again. So
All right,
that's all.
definitely. Yes. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. Keep watching our show. And this is about connecting, about sharing ideas and building our community, which I think is very much needed. But I'm very positive when I meet people like you, all our guest speaker who have such excellent, vibrant thoughts. And, we have so much of positivity exuberating. And I think that this is the key, for all of us to bring together. So thank you, Binita, and keep reading and, be a part of our initiative.
Okay, stay safe, Auntie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So to all our listeners who are watching, thank you for watching us. I definitely want to invite you to, come on up. Like, as Binita has shared, this is a platform for you. This is a platform for all of us wherein we come together and share ideas, share our learning, and spread inspiration within our own community, right? So I want to again talk a little bit about the book club and how you can join. And let me bring up my website. All right. Okay, so as you can see in the website, so this is where I'm tracking, tracking the schedule for the book club. You can go over here and check, when is the next available. As you can see, today we had our session. Our next session is tomorrow, and we already have it filled up. Thank you, everyone, for signing up. And then we have April 11th, which is open right now, and I'll keep on adding the schedule. So please do, check for the schedule over here and sign up. And, you can come here and talk a little bit about the book, what you're reading, share about the book, and also share your gratitude, about someone you're thankful for. So with that, I will end today's show. Thank you to all our participants who have participated and shared. I have learned so much about, about other aspects which I didn't think too much of, and that's the charm, right? That's the value of us having this book club. And my last sharing would be of gratitude to everybody who is working in the front line, and gratitude to everyone in the social media who are trying to share positive thoughts, who are also sharing about the global pandemic, but in a more, informative way. So we do appreciate that. I know right now we can't do much about it. We all have a social responsibility to be at home, to be hygienic, and if we keep on attacking each other, that's really not the way. So with that, I just want to request everyone to be calm, to share, what we can learn from each other, and kind of refrain from attacking each other. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.